Come get the tea from me. LVB.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to What's the Gossip, and today I'm joined by RuPaul's Drag Race and all-star legend and icon, Pandora Boxx. How are you doing, Pandora?
I'm doing well, thank you. I appreciate the legendary status.
I mean, you're pretty iconic, to be honest. Like, the things you've been involved with in that show, the scenarios, like even like, we're going to get to it, like the all-stars buffoonery, which completely fucked you up, is iconic by default.
Yeah, guess it is.
Do you know, we met 5 years ago yesterday in Birmingham in England. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Okay, you definitely don't remember meeting me, but I'll tell you the scenario and it'll probably become clear as day. It was an after party at the Birmingham Nightingale, and it was you, Fifi, Adore, Sharon, and there's someone else. And Sharon was very intoxicated.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down.
It was that bad that she was escorted out of the club by security and banned.
Oh, wow.
And you and me was sat by like a mirror, and I was like, what's going on? And you were just sat there in silence. You're like, I don't know. I'm not going to get involved. Oh yeah, it was Katya. Katya was there as well. We were all like, oh my God. She'd put like, they brought in a pitcher of cocktails.
Yes.
And Sharon was smoking a cigarette, and she put a cigarette out in the cocktails. She just went around the room letting everyone know what she thought of everyone. And we were all like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on?
God. Well, that sounds like Sharon. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if that narrows down the times I've been out with her. Yeah, I do remember. Like, I remember that whole trip. Yeah, I did a couple European tours. So I'm just trying to, but if Fifi was there, then it was definitely the first one.
Wasn't it the Club Kids tour?
I don't know. Oh my God, I'm so this pandemic has destroyed my memory completely. Like, I have no recollection of anything anymore.
How are you coping with the lockdown?
Well, at first I was scared like everybody else, and no jobs. Every gig was canceling, and it was scary. But then, after like a couple of weeks, I was like, hey, you know what? Actually, this might be really good for me. I mean, I need to make money, but it's kind of taken away all this, just the stress of trying to find the next gig and the next gig. And so this was just like, oh, okay, there's no gigs for anybody. So I don't have to worry right now. And then, a year later, I'm a little over it.
A little over it. You're all rested now. I'm ready to get back to business.
Yeah, mostly.
So how many gigs did you have lined up that you lost last year?
I don't remember. It wasn't like a lot of them, but it was just, like a handful of them that had been booked in advance. I don't know. I generally find like January, February are normally slow months, especially for traveling and stuff. But yeah, it was just like one after the next. They're like, okay, this one's canceled and this one and this one. So yeah, it was a lot. I mean, it's been a lot for everybody.
Over in England, they told us that we were going into lockdown for 3 weeks. We were like, oh, this will be cool. We're like, time we just relax, watch a bit of TV. No, it's like a year later, we're still sat in the house.
Well, yeah. And our, the administration that was in power for here in the United States didn't really do a great job to start with. So this is why it also lasted as long as it has here.
But he's told anyone that had listened, he did a great job.
He certainly does, and did, and continues to do so. Continues to take credit for doing things, and he's not even in office anymore.
Oh my God, were you over the moon when he got kicked off Twitter? I was.
Yes, I most certainly was. I was scared because I did not have faith in Americans, and there's still like 76 million people still voted for him and thought he did a good job. So it's like, that's an issue. Okay,
but for people that don't know, you were actually on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 2 and the original season of All Stars. How did you get started in drag?
Well, I actually didn't really know what drag was, but I went and saw a show. And Darienne Lake was performing, who was on RuPaul's Drag Race as well. And, I had been lip syncing in my bedroom by myself. And I was like, wait, you can do that and dress in costumes and people give you money? So I'm going to need to sign up for this.
So where did the name Pandora Boxx come from? was about to call you Pandora. Pandora.
Well, Pandora is in Greek mythology, and she was the first woman ever created and opened up the forbidden box that unleashed all the evil onto the world. And I thought, hey, that's a fun story. And with that name, you kind of never knew what to expect. So I like that.
That's your brand, unleashing evil onto the world.
Well, maybe not evil, but just unleashing unknowns. Which might sound worse.
So usually when people get into drag, they usually have like a drag mother. Did you do it yourself or did you have help?
I did it myself for a little bit, but Darienne actually helped me a lot. She really was the one who did my makeup a lot until it got to the point where she kind of was scowling as she was doing it. And I'm like, I need to learn how to do it myself because she's over it.
Coming up to then, RuPaul's Drag Race, did you audition for the first season?
Yes, but not. They had like an online thing. So I did like the online videos and stuff, but I didn't really like send in a formal audition video because I thought it was just going by. I think there was like a contest too, like somebody that was from online that was doing all these videos would get to go on the show, and that was Nina Flowers. But I'm sure that they cast her anyways before because she's amazing. So those online contests are not totally legit, if anyone's wondering. In any case, they don't just go, oh, let's pick some random person that did well on there. I mean, they still have to make sure they're going to be good.
They're like, thanks for the suggestion, but no.
Yeah. So the second season, I did all the necessary steps and sent in a video and everything. And I just remember there were so many phone calls. There were so many interviews. And, I realized early on that every time there's a phone call, that's actually just part of this audition process. So I have to be on completely every time that they're talking to me.
So what was it like when you got the call to say that you were actually going to be on season 2?
I mean, it was amazing. At first, I didn't know what they said because I think they put me on speakerphone and then told me, but it was kind of muffled. So I was like, wait, what? And then I danced around the house because I was home alone. And then I did the gayest thing possible, and I made a playlist of all my favorite songs and started playing the playlist for like an hour.
So when they tell you you're going on to the show, do they tell you like the episode order in advance? Like you're going to need a blue outfit, you're going to need a gladiator outfit, or is that just a mystery?
Our season, absolutely no. We got one letter and it told us like 3 things or 4 things. Like you need everything from country realness to executive realness to a celebrity impersonation. That is it. That's all they told us. So you had no clue what to bring. And it's only the second season too. So as soon as I walked on the set, I went, oh, okay, there's a budget now. And there's a lot more queens because I was like second to last to walk in and everyone looked like a woman to me. So I was like, oh my God. All right. So I knew comedy would be my strength, but now I'm also the clown because I'm in like this pink tutu and everyone is presenting completely woman.
They were very like actually what you just said, like a woman back then, wasn't it? Nowadays it's all like very extravagant, very OTT, but back then they were like trying to look like actual women. I
think because the first season had a good mixture of different types of queens, I thought. I mean, maybe still womanly, but Angina was kind of very like, I gave a little more of a club kid, and Nina Flowers is Nina Flowers. I don't even know how else to describe her amazingness, but I think it's because they wanted to appeal to a broader audience. And if we all looked like women, then straight people understand drag better. At least at that point.
So how did you find the whole process of filming the TV show?
There were a lot of times it was fun, and I actually got along really well with some of the queens, and I'm still friends with. So, I mean, that part was good. It's very stressful, though, especially because the judge who shall not be named did not like my style and told me so. And so it was just kind of brutal sometimes. It's like, oh, my God, I can't do anything right. And So it was a mixture. It's a mixed bag of nuts.
Was there anything that happened that you remember that didn't make it onto the show that you were like, I hope they show this?
Yeah, there were a lot of things. And then I got a cease and desist from them when I was starting to, I would write things like, oh my God, well, this happened and it was really funny. And then they told me I can't do that. So I was like, oh, all right. Because there was just a lot of funny moments. There was definitely a moment between Kathy Griffin and I, and that's probably the saddest thing that, well, not sad. Yeah, I guess sad. Like, it was just disappointing to not have that in there. Because some of my friends were like, I can't believe you're on stage with Kathy Griffin and you love her and you didn't say anything to her. I was like, are you kidding me? Of course I said things to her. And Morgan came back and they were like, well, how did everything go? And Morgan was like, bitch, Pandora's like cutting it up with Kathy Griffin like they're best friends. And that never made it in the show. And that was sad to me.
I love Kathy Griffin. Are you like a massive fan?
Oh, yeah, I do. And I had seen her live. I'd actually met her like on one of her meet and greets. I know she wouldn't remember. But the coolest thing was that after we were done, they called me to the main stage. And I was like, oh, fuck. What's happening? And I was just standing there alone. Nobody else was in there and just waiting. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, did I do something wrong? Am I getting kicked out? Like, what? And then she comes out, and it's because she wanted to get a picture with me, and that was amazing because they don't do that, and you don't get to meet the judges or anything like that. But I guess that she insisted that she wanted to get a picture with me, so that was really thrilling.
How do you feel that the show has evolved from, say, your season to like the season that's on right now? What do you think the differences are?
I guess the biggest difference is because the queens know the game now, and everybody comes with designer-made outfits, and it's a lot of that, and which I like. Who doesn't like to see a good runway? But at the same point, I feel like it's taken away some of the fun of it all.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it that much when I feel like they're all trying to make sure that they're not going to get dragged on Twitter afterwards, and they're all guarding what they're saying. Whereas I think in the first 5 seasons, definitely, I feel like they were a bit more savage with it, but it made for better TV.
Yeah, because the fan base has certainly gotten crazier and more racist, which that one I do not understand whatsoever. I don't know how you could be racist and watch Drag Race. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, it's just, I just don't get being that terrible to a drag queen you don't like on a TV show, because none of the queens have done anything that warrants death threats or the kind of hate they get. I'm like, it's just a TV show. Yeah, she was a bitch, but who cares? Get over it.
They're feral, aren't they?
Yeah, they really can be. It's like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know how they got that out of the show. I mean, I know part of it is that sometimes these quote unquote fans think they're reading the queens because they do it on the show and they're trying to be funny, but they're not. They're just mean.
So then your season airs, and each year the show gets bigger and bigger, and then you get the phone call for All Stars. How did that phone call come about?
Well, we were doing the show RuPaul's Drag U, and I did 3 seasons of that, which is the show where we made over women into drag queens. I had kind of heard that there was going to be an All Stars, but I didn't really know anything, and I can't remember exactly. At some point, I got the call asking if I would be interested. And I was like, yep, most certainly.
Yes.
Because it was like, okay, so I've made more money now in drag. I can afford things. I'm actually steadily working. And before, I was doing drag in Rochester, but not like maybe once a week, because there wasn't really, the drag scene at that time wasn't huge. And I had a full time day job. So when I left that to just kind of do drag like full time, I was like, okay, let's try it. So we were shooting Drag U, and then I knew about it. And then some of us were on Drag U, we're kind of talking about it, but we would call it summer camp. Oh wait, no, we would call it Cupcake Wars. I think something. We had a code name for what we were talking about. Wars. So we would talk about All Stars, but we would use the other name that I can't remember, but I think it was Cupcake Wars or something really silly like that. Yeah. So I got the call and I said, yeah, of course I 100% want to go back. Because like I said, I'm like, I have money now. I'm making money. I can spend more money on costumes. I can kind of come in prepared because now I know the game a little bit more. And I was really excited, until I got there.
Oh my God. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, when you got to All Stars, they threw a twist on you that you'd have to pair up with someone for the entire season. And you got paired up with Mimi I'm First. Was that your choice, or did you want to go with someone else? And if so, who?
I wanted to, I think I held up, you had to hold up pictures of who you wanted to be with or who you thought would pick you. And I was just like, oh, shit. I'm like, because I knew all of them, but I didn't have the one queen there that I knew would 100% pick me. Like, I was like, oh, God. And I thought, if for some reason Raven and Jujubee are fighting right now, Jujubee will pick me. But they're like besties. And so I knew they were going to pick each other, and they did. And so I ended up with Mimi, and I'm fine with Mimi. We get along, and we had worked together. My whole thing was that she was a controversial choice for All Stars. And she had a controversial exit on her season by picking up India Farah, and drag is not a contact sport. And then
I loved it when they put the dolphin squeals on the video clip, when he picked up India. It was all like wah, wah. It's so stupid.
And then and I just kind of felt like us as a pair, I didn't feel like we could go to the end. I felt like we're kind of like seen as the underdog team now. And I kind of felt like I was the underdog on my season, and I didn't really want to be that way again, and all the time and stuff and money spent on this. It was kind of just like, oh, well, this kind of sucks.
Who was the queen that you were hoping was going to be there?
I don't know. I mean, because I didn't think about teams. So I was like, oh, I don't even know who, I don't know. Teams sucked. I don't think any of us liked teams. We were just like, oh, this is not great. And also, I don't think that they like teams. I think that they realized that this was a big mistake, because I think All Stars 1 is pretty universally hated.
I mean, it was pretty big at the time, but I think as soon as All Stars 2 came along and there was no teams, they were like, yes, we probably should have done it like this the whole time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when All Stars 2 came out, I was so pissed. Because their first challenge was, show us your talent. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I was at a bar hosting, and I said that too on the microphone. But then, I mean, it was great. Like, I loved it. I was bitter for a few seconds, but it was good to see the right format. I mean, that's the way it should be. I think that's what fans wanted, and certainly what queens wanted. So it's like, it's good.
So when you got teamed up with like Mimi, did you pretty much know you were DOA?
I knew that we would. I also knew we knew there were only 6 episodes. So it's like, okay, I knew something was up, because there were too many queens. I was like, is there like a mass elimination? Is something? And, but yeah, I knew that we wouldn't be able to go very far. And, they only played my really, really bitchy clips in the show. And I talked to Mimi about this on the show. Like, she pulled me aside and told me how she was feeling, and felt like I had thrown her under the bus when we were talking to RuPaul. And I was like, ooh, you're right. I think I did. And I didn't mean to, because I was very frustrated because she wasn't doing a good job on my makeup. And it was really bad.
So in your original season, didn't you win Snatch Game, or am I imagining that?
I actually didn't win Snatch Game on my season. No, it's funny because a lot of people think I did, but I didn't. I didn't win
but yours
shit.
is the only one I remember. Who won it?
Tatiana won, doing Britney.
Oh, Britney Spears. I love Tatiana. You didn't win Snatch Game, but if you were going to do Snatch Game on All Stars, what were you going to do?
Oh, we didn't. Who was I going to do? Well, they told us to bring a celebrity. I was thinking Paula Abdul. I think that's who was in my mind, because like the American Idol kind of Paula Abdul was, she's a little bit out of it, and congratulating or talking about somebody's second song when they hadn't done one, and a little spacey but cute. And I thought that could be kind of fun. I knew I was not going to look like Paula Abdul, so I was just like, well, I think it just, to me, it gave like it was a little more, I could be a little more spacey and kind of say whatever I wanted, like with Carol. Like I just, at some point, it was after the first question on that Snatch game, is that I decided that I was not going to answer the questions even remotely right. And I thought that would be funny.
Yeah. Oh, so you wouldn't do Kathy Griffin?
Oh my God, no. Because I think I've thought about it. I think I had trouble like getting the voice. And also the thing is, Kathy Griffin is really, really funny. And I think that's harder to do. Like someone that's like a comedian, because without just doing their jokes, and someone that's like still well known, like, you know, there's probably comedians of the past that would be good to do that people aren't as familiar with. But yeah, Kathy Griffin would be tough. I
think in a modern context now, you could probably do Kathy Griffin now with, you know, the changing length of a wig and the Donald Trump head.
You could. I don't know. For me, I would be like, oh, no comedians.
So you were on All Stars 1. You left the first episode after that iconic moment in Untucked where everyone just went wild on Mimi. How much of that was cut down?
You know, it's been so long since I've even seen it. And I don't even know if I've ever seen the full Untucked, because I didn't even really watch All Stars at all. I only saw the first episode at the Abbey in West Hollywood because we were having the premiere party. And every time I said something bitchy, I had the handler that was assigned to me go get me a shot. I'm like, I need another shot. So I was wasted by the end of the night, because I was just like, it was upsetting. I knew what was going to happen. I knew what kind of state my head was in. I knew I was going to be bitchy, and I was right. And I thought, well, maybe they'll give me like one moment where I redeem myself. No, they did not.
No, not for you.
Not at all. And that was really hard to deal with. But that backstage moment was, I think they did show most of it. I don't remember if they showed Mimi walking off the set and I had to go get her, and I had to talk to her outside, and I was pissed that I had to go outside in daylight.
Is this when you're in the car park?
Yes. And
yeah, that's on it.
I know they didn't show, like, you know, like she really, I don't know how she got pretty far where she went, because they had to walk her back onto the set. I was like, oh my God, girl. And yeah, it was really tense. And Alexis gave Mimi an out. Like, I just remember Alexis kind of saying, it's fine, girl. We don't need to stop. We're good. I'm good. I don't know. But then I don't know if Mimi didn't hear that. Because I was like, Mimi, she's giving you an out. You can end this. It doesn't have to be a spectacle. Oh, there she goes. Too late. Yeah, you took the bait, girl, and you're in your own head now. You're being a little extra, which she can be sometimes.
But she made the episode iconic by default.
Yes, because somebody just tagged me in it on Twitter, and it was a picture of that, and I think they called it like the Last Supper or something. I don't know. So it's funny that I think that clip like outlives anything from All Stars 1. Like, I think that is what people think of.
It's definitely the most memed moment of the whole season of that one.
Oh, for sure. Because there's so much going on. There's the argument with Mimi and Alexis over some gig or something. I don't even remember what it was. And then Raven going in on Mimi, accusing her because the online voting for who should be on All Stars seems sketchy. And then
what even was that?
There was a vote to see, they're like, okay, we're bringing back All Stars, and who do you want to see on the show? So vote for your favorite. And I didn't even know that they were doing it, because I was on a cruise with Sharon and Alaska. I actually helped Alaska shoot her audition video on that cruise. It was like a drag race cruise or something. And Sharon came into the room, or Sharon got off the phone, because we had the same manager, and said, it's official. They're doing an All Stars, and there's an online vote, and you're number 1 and I'm like number 4 or something like that in the voting, because they put every drag queen up there, which was really cool, because I didn't even like plug it or promote it, but I was like number 1 in the voting, and online voting for almost all of it. There was only one time that when Sharon became really popular in her season, her votes went dramatically up, and then she was number 1. And then they did this whole thing where Sharon like renounced it because she had just won and didn't want to go to All Stars, and she's passing it to me because I was second. And I was like, and so then all these people were like, you should be so grateful to Sharon. I'm like, bitch, that's not how it works. Like, Sharon can't just decide it. I was already cast, but it's like, oh, and then I was going to say, you have that Raven yelling at her about that. And then Tammy Brown, who always is on her own planet.
What is she like?
I love her. She's so fun and nice and kooky. And she definitely exists on her own planet. So sometimes she says really weird things and I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what you just, okay, but I'll go with it. But I love Tammy, and she was frustrated because of all the producers trying to get us to talk about things and make story and drama. And so that's why Tammy was acting and and making all those noises because she was kind of over it too. And then me, I'm just in the background going, ugh.
You just want to go home.
I really did. And I also was sick that day too, because I don't know if it was what they gave me to eat in the morning, but I was like dry heaving in a garbage bin with a cold washcloth on my neck that Chanel had. And then Chad's like holding my hand, and I'm like, what a mess this is.
So have you ever been approached to go on another All Stars?
I have not.
Would you be open to it?
Yeah, I think so. I think if they had like asked like All Stars 2, I don't know if I would have done it. Just because All Stars 1 was really difficult and painful and not a good memory. I mean, now some of it is like, because I can make jokes about it, but it took me a long time to like really fully get over it. And, so, yeah, I mean, enough time has gone on. I don't even know what All Stars they're on. Oh, they just did 5, right? And then, but yeah, because they are bringing All Stars 1 queens back, which I think they should. and yeah, I mean, once I saw Manila and Latrice back on, I realized it was a possibility. And I thought, I think I would go back now.
What would you do if they asked you back, but they said you still have to go in a team with Mimi?
No.
No.
Yeah, if it was teams, I would just be like, no, thank you.
Oh my God. Have you been catching up with the UK version?
I keep up with it, but I haven't watched all of it. But I did finally finish the first season because I didn't have the Wow Plus Presents app or whatever, and I wasn't going to pay for it because I'm like, you should give it to us for free.
They don't give it to you for free?
No, they do not.
Most of the content is you, isn't it?
I know it's all drag queens. You can't give it to us. So.
Oh my God. So who was your favorite?
In season 1?
Yeah.
Well, and I know some of them too. Like I've worked with them. So it was fun to see. It's always more fun for me if I know a queen or two. I really love Baga.
I'm friends with Baga. He's so funny.
I mean, I just was like, I could just sit here and listen to you. And sometimes I don't even know what she's saying and I still laugh. I'm like... but I liked Davina too. I mean, there wasn't any that I really didn't like, I don't think.
Before Bagger was on Drag Race, I used to go down and like stay at his house in London, and before we'd go on a night out, we used to lie in his bed and he'd watch those videos of like how to catch a predator.
Oh, but that's, uplifting TV too.
But it wasn't the TV show. It was the vigilantes that catch people in the street.
Oh,
We'd just be lying on the bed for about 4 hours watching these videos. I was like, should we start getting ready? And it was like, no, not yet. I need to finish this video. Oh, he's a lunatic. Absolute lunatic.
God.
He's the most famous woman in England, if you ask him. He'll tell anyone that'll listen.
I think I've actually seen him post that.
He does it all the time. He was doing it before he was even on Drag Race.
Yeah, I know. Because I've been following her on social media, and I'm pretty sure that we did a show together. I'm pretty sure that we've met and we did some kind of show. But I was talking to Davina about that too. Like I know I've met and worked with her, but we couldn't actually remember what gig it was.
My money would be on GAY Porn Idol.
I've never done that. So it definitely wasn't that, because they have never booked me. So
Jeremy Joseph is naughty.
there's that.
You need to get onto him. How many times have you been to the UK?
Oh, I don't know. Quite a few, actually. There was a couple of the Battle of the Seasons tours that we did. I think there were 2. And then I did one of the Drag Race cruises, and that left from somewhere. I can't remember.
There was a cruise in the UK?
Oh, no, it wasn't in the I'm thinking just Europe. I think it left out of Rome. I thought we went to the UK too, but then I also just did, like, I guess it was 2 years ago, because the memory just came up, and I did a tour that Kitty Trey did, and it was my one-woman show, and I did that. I don't remember how many stops, like maybe 5 or 6 cities. And that was really fun. I had a really great time, because the audiences were really, really great. And I got to perform at the Royal Vauxhall, and that was exciting.
The Royal Vauxhall's great, isn't it? It's a great night out, that is.
Yeah, and it was my first one, and so I was nervous. I was like, why does London have to be my first stop? It's like this one. I feel like some of the smaller cities are better to start with. But it was great. Like, the audience was so good and amazing, and my show was a lot longer there, because people kept laughing. I'm like, if you're going to keep laughing, I'm going to keep saying things.
I think it's because your sense of humor is very British. You're very dry and sharp and witty.
Well, thank you. Yes, I am.
I am. It's so funny.
I can be very dry, and some people don't always get that. But yeah, and I really appreciate the British humor.
The British humor. How does the audiences in America differ to, like, the UK ones?
Well, it depends on what the show is. I don't know. Like, I had such a good time at the UK show, the UK shows I've done, and I feel like, and also I do feel like they maybe get my humor a little better sometimes. But I don't know, sometimes the US, it depends on where you are, but sometimes they can be very entitled, especially if it's West Hollywood. I mean, that can be a nightmare to perform at sometimes. Just, everyone thinks they're very important and can't be bothered, and that's irritating to me.
So you also do music as well. Is music actually your passion, or is it just a nice, fun, like, side project?
No, I love music, and I've always, like, since I was a kid, I wanted to be in a music video or have a music video, and then I did, and I was like, oh my God, it happened. But I know I'm not like an amazing singer, so but you can still make music and not be an amazing singer.
It's like they said in that roast, isn't it? You're a recording artist and I'm a singer.
Yes.
You were also on the Netflix smash hit season, AJ and the Queen. Did they know that there were going to be one season, or do you think they thought they were going to get a second?
Oh, no, they thought they wanted a second season. They were, as far as I know, they weren't sure. Like, I knew that they weren't sure if they were going to get one just by, I guess I was talking to Raven about it or somebody. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have done a second season if they got it. It was really fun because I actually missed one time that they called and asked about my availability, but I was in New York City and I wasn't going to get back in time. And what's really sucked is that the show in New York City did not go very well. So I was pissed that I was like, oh my God, I'm here and this is not good. And I could have been back, and now I've missed my chance to be on the show, and I really want to be on it. And then I thought they were done, but then they called me, and I was supposed to they asked if I could do Dolly Parton. And then when I was available, they switched it to Carol Channing. So I was like, I feel like I'm going to do Carol Channing until I die, but it was fun. And it was really short too. I wasn't there for very long, but it was cool.
Why do you think it didn't pick up for a second season? Because it was heavily promoted, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like people watched it. I mean, I know Netflix doesn't really release like their ratings and stuff, or their numbers usually. I don't know. I feel like it's definitely was a show that got better as it went on, because I feel like there were some, how shall I say it, rough spots in it. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think, I'm not sure. And then I guess it was like, how do you continue the story that's a road story and all this? And make another season, I guess. I'm not sure.
They were shady with some of them camera angles as well, weren't they?
Well, they were.
There was a scene in the hospital where they zoomed in on Rue's face and you could see all the tape and everything on it. That was the first time I've ever seen that.
Tape. But, actually, I did see it in one scene. Well, I guess it was said, like, Rue said that she wasn't happy with some of these camera angles and didn't want it, but Michael Patrick King, who was creator and writer, he pushed her to be seen like that because it made it real. Like it was supposed to be like a real dramedy, and so it gave a certain realness to it instead of like, because I mean, if you're doing a show like that, every shot of you in drag can't be like this 60s glossy, you know, like
soft
I just think of Star Trek. Yeah, and on Star Trek there was always like the women all had like a soft focus glow around them all the time, and you can't really do that. And if you're shooting this TV series that's supposed to be real
in HD.
But the cool thing is that Michael Patrick King, who I'm a big fan of because I loved Sex and the City, he said he was a big fan of mine. So that was like thrilling to have him even know who I was and actually say that he was a fan of mine. I'm like, really?
Of course he knows who you are. You're like iconic.
I don't, I mean, I guess I don't think so. So I am shocked when anyone actually knows who I am. And it just happened too. Like, I don't know. When I say just happened, this could be like months and months ago because this past year, everything is mushed together. So I have no clue what day or time or anything is.
Yeah.
But I follow Octavia Spencer on Instagram, and I commented on one of her things, and she's like, "Oh, it's nice to have you here. I'm a big fan." And I went, "What?"
Oh my God, I love Octavia
Spencer even knows my name?
She is the best.
Oh my God, she's amazing.
Have you had any other like celebrities come up to you going, "Oh my God, I'm a big massive fan"? You've been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, there's some that on. It happens a lot online or on Twitter, and I'm just kind of blown away that these people know who I am, and also just how many people watch Drag Race, like how. So that's always impressive to me that there's so many people that like in all walks of life that love this show. So, but one that was exciting was when we did one of those European tours, and Laura Carmichael was there and came backstage and knew who we were, and I was very excited for that. And she plays Lady Edith on Downton Abbey. I actually like hung out with her after, and I went to her flat and had drinks. I was like, this is really cool.
Bag of Chips told me about one night Kate Beckinsale followed him home, and then she passed out asleep on his couch, and he was like, I just sat there taking photographs of her because no one believed that Kate Beckinsale was in my house. And I was like, what happened? And he went, in the morning, she kind of just sat up, looked around the room and just walked out. But he says that she sends him like topless photos on Instagram.
Oh my God. Okay,
and this was before Drag Race.
That kind of beats my story, but but it's all right because it was fun. I was just kind of like, I can't believe we got invited to a little after party, and then she was doing the thing is she was doing a play. And somebody that worked with her, they told me after that she was feeling a little rough during the show, and I'm like, oh no, I gave her a hangover for her play.
So if you could switch yourself from season 2, what season would you rather put yourself in?
I don't know, because maybe one of the later ones, because it gets so much more publicity and press, and and I was on it so long ago.
But do you not find that because you were on it so long ago, but now it's on Netflix, that you're going to get a constant resurgence?
Yeah, I do get a lot of comments about people watching it for the first time and going back and seeing it. So that's, it's cool. I don't think that they thought either that this show would go on as long as it has. I certainly had no thought that this show was going to be on season 13, and now have 2 seasons of the UK and
Holland,
Canada,
Thailand.
And there's the Spain is coming out soon, and it's insane. It's crazy to me that this show has just gotten bigger than when it started, and a lot of shows don't do that. A lot of shows peak and then they kind of fade away and go away. There's no signs of it stopping it.
The first season, aired in the UK and it flopped and like it was just taken off the air. Like I knew nothing about it ever since. And then one day someone said, "Have you watched season 4?" And I was like, I thought it stopped at 1. Like season 1 aired on like E4 and it was just, they never picked it back up again. I thought it died. I had no idea. And obviously then I think since 4 it grew, didn't it? It exploded.
Yeah, and it's tough too because it was on Logo here, which is a smaller channel, and not a lot of people got it. So it was that. But then they would air us on VH1 after, like I think like the week later. So we did have that. But yeah, I think season 4 is where it really started to pick up, and it kind of was finding its groove of a show. And then when they started opening up to not just, everybody is pretty and a woman, and I think more people were attracted to it then because it showed what drag was more than just like, oh, I look like a lady.
So you're definitely on board to do All Stars again?
Yeah, I think so. Because
have you done have you already filmed it?
No,
I think you have. Not. Have you not? You can tell me. I won't tell you what.
No, I have not.
Oh, damn it. So if you were to go on All Stars again, who would be your snatch game? What options have we got in case you have done it?
Oh, I don't know. I think snatch game would be something I would worry about because that's what people talk to me. I mean, for like 11 years, that's all I've heard about is my snatch game. So to try and live up to that would be difficult. So I don't know who I would do. Really.
Why don't you just flip it on your head and do Pandora Boxx? Do Pandora from All Stars 1.
Oh my God, what a cunt.
Oh my God. So what have you got in the pipeline, Pandora?
Well, I thought this pandemic and being forced to be home would make me really creative and want to do, it has not. So I am trying to figure out what to do. I'm slowly working on new music because I really want to do an album just because I want to do one, and like fun, dancey club songs. And so I'm thinking about that and trying to put like some kind of web series together or something. But I don't know. My ideas are all over the place. I have to pick one and go, okay, I'm going to do that.
Do you need a break from the pandemic break to get your ideas together?
Yeah, I need motivation, I think is what I really need.
I think like everyone sat in the house, we're all just frazzled, isn't it? We have got nothing, no stimulation, there's nothing going on, there's nowhere to go. So like your ideas and stuff are just pretty much zapped, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm as much as I love my dog, I don't know if I'm going to create anything around him and his what he does, because I'm like, it's me watching TV with my dog, and my partner is working, so that's good. Yeah, I guess there's nothing like, because nothing's happening, so I don't feel any like creative juices. And I think it's also I'm just burnt out of watching things because that's all there really was to do in the pandemic was just watch some telly.
Oh my God, I'm completely burnt out from TV. As soon as I go on Netflix to go to put a film on, as soon as I see it's 2 hours, I'm like, no, I have all the time in the world, but I don't have the time to invest in this for 2 hours. I feel like I'm just sick of looking at the TV.
Yes, that's what I do too. Like I wish that Netflix had a under 90-minute option. Like, can that be a category? Like under 90 minutes, okay, I can watch that, because everything else is like 2 hours. Then they just released that Justice League, which is like 4 hours, which is on HBO Max. But I'm like, 4 hours of the Justice League? No, pass, thank you.
Well, I have a cool trick that I've discovered that I now do. My brother thinks I'm a freak. I watch people's reaction videos where they watch a film, so I can watch the film with them in 20 minutes.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. There's certainly been some of these movies that I've watched that I'm like, God, I wish I hadn't seen that one. There's
a YouTube channel called Dead Meat, and they do like horror movie reviews, but they like condense it down to like 15 minutes and tell you all about the kills. So I just do that. I watch them. Have I watched The Shining? No. Have I watched the kill count? Yes.
Oh my God, I love it. I'm gonna have to do that.
So what kind of music is gonna be on the new record?
Well, I want it to be like dance and club kind of music, and with maybe like some funny twists to it. So yeah, I'm not going to do like any ballads or anything like that.
No Adele. You're not going to be the Adele of Drag Race.
I'll leave that to I'll leave that to the queens that can sing really well.
Which ones are that?
I know there's a few, right? Are there? I know there's some. Sorry, I know there's some that think they sing really well.
I was going to say, I was at a sound check for one of these shows in London, and someone came running out of the dressing room. I think who was it? I think it was like Alaska, and they went, "Oh no, her microphone's on." I won't say who was sound checking. They're like, "Oh no," and I was like, "Is it not usually on?" They were like, "No." She does not sing live.
Yes, I think there were. And sometimes I've heard people like at sound check, and I'm like, God, they always sound really, really good. And then I'm like, well, because I don't think that's actually live. That would be probably the thing. And I guess for a while too, like if I was doing those shows, I always thought I had to do like live over it, or I usually had a backing track. So because I was like, I need it. And but then I realized I can just lip sync it. Nobody cares. Like nobody's coming to see this.
You're still being paid.
Yeah, and like no one's coming to see this show because they heard Pandora Boxx is an amazing live singer. That's not it.
That's
not
what I heard. That's what I got told. It was your sound check. I'm really joking. I'm joking.
I know that's not true because I would have been like, nope, turn it off.
Taking the batteries out of the microphone.
I mean, a lot of my stuff that I did for those tours that were like a combination of like, there were some live elements and then I would lip sync because I'm like, I knew my strengths and I'm not going to go out there and, I mean, people want me to be funny, so I'm like, I'm just going to try to be funny, right?
So one final thing. Did you watch the latest episode of season 13?
I have not seen the full episode, but I've seen a lot of clips from it. And I just watched the clip of, because I knew that she bombed and was, I guess, me and Utica. And, but I just watched the clip of her insulting Lonnie Love and how she starts laughing and she's like, "You're the one that's bombing." And I'm like, oh my God, this is iconic.
Wouldn't you die on the spot? You'd die, wouldn't you?
I would leave. I would be, what I would have said is like, and scene. Thank you. Good night. I'm Pandora Boxx and my career is over. Good night.
Because it was the roast of the miscongenialities, wasn't it? Why were you not asked?
Well, that is not a question for me. That is a question for them. They did not ask me.
Oh, you're so underrated, Pandora. I don't get why you're not being forced on us a bit more.
Well, thank you. I don't know either. But, I'm thankful for Drag Race because I wouldn't have the career that I have now. I mean, sitting here in my drag room on a podcast, I mean, I've made it.
You've definitely made it. You're on What's the Gossip with me. You lucky thing. This is the prize. This is what you've won.
Oh, thank you so much. I'd like to thank all the fans for all their supports, and this means the world to me.
Right, so before we go, the final question. If and when you are brought back to All Stars, because you will be, and they team you up with someone, who do you hope they team you up with?
Oh, gosh. Like out of any of the queens?
Yeah, you can pick anyone you want, but you've got to be stuck with them for the rest of that season.
Well, then I'm going to pick somebody that like won already, like Bianca or Alaska, or somebody that I'm like, they love and can do no wrong. Like that's who I'm going to pick, is somebody that that Drag Race clearly favors and loves.
So who would that be? Trixie Mattel?
No, I think Alaska or Bianca. Right?
Jujubee.
I can pick them. Jujubee. Well, I already picked her and she didn't pick me.
Fuck her. Airline.
Yeah. I mean, no, I would pick Jujubee. I mean, there's a lot that I would pick, but if I want to pick somebody that already won, and why not?
Imagine if you got paired up with like Chad in the first season. That'd have been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I thing is, I know Chad. I'm friends with Chad too, so it was just kind of like. But I knew Chad and Chanel. They're in the Dreamgirls review together, and I've known each other for years. So it's like, yeah, like everybody had known each other for a while, and so it was just like, yeah, whatever. it happened. It's done. I hate when people like tweet me or comment and they're like, "Oh, hey, I'm just watching All Stars 1 right now. I'm so excited." I was like, "Please stop. Please just skip to episode 2."
Just stop watching. I want it. Never mind. Oh my God. Thanks for doing this, Pandora.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
And I can't wait to see you on the next All Stars. You're like
All Stars 10.
All Stars 10. The 10th anniversary of season 1. That's what we need. That's what we need you on. Right, I'll speak to you later, Pandora. Thanks for doing this.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Come get the tea from me. LVB.